Good morning. This is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing, starting off with some rainy conditions out there this morning and quite dreary weather. We'll see rain continuing as we move through our morning hours and should see that start to wrap up as we get into the middle of the afternoon. And we'll slowly start to see clouds break as we go into the evening as well. And behind those clouds, we'll see some slightly breezy conditions late afternoon into the early part of the evening. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, we can see this being driven by an upper level disturbance moving through the area, a weak area of low pressure forming just off the coast, helping to enhance some of that moisture flow. And again, we'll gradually continue to see this shower activity moving through the area and should see it start to pull out of the area as we get into the later part of the afternoon. Current conditions this morning were overcast at 500 feet with our reduced visibilities down to 2.5 miles. Seeing light rain, winds out of the northeast at 6 knots, temperature at 42 degrees, and our relative humidity is at 92%. Take a quick look at the local radar here. We could see the shower activity over the local Wallops area, and we have some more moderate shower activity off to the west. We do expect that to pull into the local area, so we could see that rain becoming moderate at times. We are also seeing some lightning embedded with some of this activity more off to the west southwest. Can't rule out maybe some lightning activity in the local area, mainly as we move through the next few hours with some of that moderate activity moving through. We look at the current visible satellite with the composite radar overlaid with this. We can see some of those lightning strikes in here off to the west-southwest. Again, that moderate shower activity approaching the area and expecting that to push through. Could see a brief break in the activity before this final line of showers pushes through. This will be towards the later morning time frame and possibly lingering around for the first couple hours of the afternoon. Take a look at the short-term high-res model, see how we expect this to play out. Doing a pretty good job here. Again, a lot of the wintry mix well off to the northwest and north of the area. Not seeing that here locally. As we move through the day, again, that moderate shower activity pushes through for the morning time frame. Can't rule out that low-end chance, about a 15 to 20% chance of maybe an embedded thunderstorm with that activity. And then this kind of secondary line continues to approach and push through the area by late morning and the first couple hours of the afternoon. As we pass the 1400 to 1500 local time frame, should see most of the activity pushing off the coast, but we'll continue to see some clouds lingering around the area as we go into the first part of the afternoon, the later part of the afternoon. Then going into the first part of the evening, we'll see the clouds break. Could see some partly cloudy conditions at times for the late evening, and then going through the overnight and early morning hours tomorrow, we'll start to see those clouds building back in, and we will see a chance for some low clouds continuing through the overnight and early morning hours tomorrow. We'll look at the GFS here. As we move through tomorrow morning, just before daybreak, we'll have a slight chance of maybe a passing light rain shower in the area prior to sunrise tomorrow. Looks to be just a slight chance, and if it does occur, will be light and brief. And then as we get into the start of the day on Friday, we should see clouds breaking once again. Seeing some partly cloudy conditions through much of the day, or if not all of the day on Friday, with some slightly breezy conditions. Going overnight, Friday night into Saturday, we'll once again see clouds on the increase as we have another disturbance approaching the area. As you can see here, the GFS brings some precip in prior to sunrise on Saturday, indicating a possible wintry mix here. Overall, expecting this to be a low probability here. Do expect mostly rain if this precip moves in this early. Again, other models indicating this precip holds off until later in the morning and into the afternoon, but nonetheless, we'll have a slight chance of seeing some rain prior to sunrise and continuing through the morning. Slight chance of seeing that wintry mix. Most likely we'll see mainly rain here at Wallops, a slightly better chance of seeing a wintry mix at points north, maybe up in the Salisbury area. But as we move through the day, we will see that transitioning all to rain, with rain becoming likely as we get into the afternoon time frame here. And then going into the evening, we'll start to see that taper off once again. So if we look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, we do have the red risk for precip as we move through the morning time frame, and a yellow risk for lightning, and an orange risk for those reduced ceilings. All currently happening with the exception of the lightning. We're looking at about a 20% chance of that occurring as we move through our morning hours, and that chance drops off as we go into the afternoon. We'll have an orange risk staying through the afternoon, as well as an orange risk for ceilings through the afternoon, particularly for the first part of the afternoon, as we'll continue to see some lingering showers possible for the first hour or two of the afternoon before those start to move off the coast. And as we start to see those low clouds breaking, we will start to see those winds shifting out of the southwest, becoming slightly breezy, 9 to 14 knots, gusting up to 22 knots. So we do have a yellow risk for those elevated winds that are above 25 knots, as we do expect to see some gusts approaching that, likely staying just below that. But can't rule out maybe a brief period of a wind advisory for the later afternoon and early part of the evening. We'll see a mild high temperature of 52 degrees this afternoon, particularly as those clouds start to break. Then we'll see temperatures slow to cool off as we move through the overnight, staying above average for our overnight low this time of year, with a low expected around 44 degrees. We'll see that period of some partly cloudiness for the first part of the evening, and then again we'll pick up that chance for some low clouds once again, starting off yellow after 23 local, and then up to an orange as we move past midnight, with a chance of a ceiling and maybe some misty conditions. Ceiling possibly developing around 500 feet, and some misty conditions reducing visibilities. And then we'll see clouds on the increase prior to sunrise tomorrow, with a yellow risk for that slight chance of maybe some brief light rain moving through the area before we get to the start of the day on Friday, where we'll expect clouds to be partly cloudy, possibly some lingering clouds, but most likely be partly cloudy by the time we start our working hours on Friday. Tides running normal at this time, and Friday should be a fairly quiet weather day. We will see partly cloudy and slightly breezy conditions through the day, expecting a high around 54 degrees, so still above average for this time of year, but we will see those temperatures starting to fall as we get into the later afternoon. We do have a yellow risk for those winds that are above 25 knots, expecting to stay just below that, but again, can't rule out a brief period of time where we see some wind advisory possibly in effect. Friday evening will be quiet for the most part. We'll see partly cloudy skies to start the evening, becoming mostly cloudy as we go through the overnight, with clouds building ahead of that next system. We'll see a slight chance for that rain activity moving into the area just prior to daybreak on Saturday, so we do have a yellow risk for that. Again, possibility of some wintry mix, but again, most likely seeing that if it is to occur, more of a rain precip moving through. Expecting our low around 30 degrees for early Saturday morning. We do have a yellow risk for reduced ceilings as well with that precip activity. And then Saturday, we keep that slight chance of rain and that low end chance of some wintry mix early on. Again, the better chance of that will be at points north of Wallops. Will be cloudy, and then that light rain will become likely as we get into the afternoon. So we do have that orange risk for precip mainly during the afternoon, but again, can't rule out some light rain around the area early on. And we will likely see some lower ceilings through the day as well, with that shower activity moving in. So we do have an orange risk for that as well. And our high temperature just up to 40 degrees, so slightly below average for this time of year. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.